We're thinking about her. And George Leslie's wife, Dolores, is in Indiana. She's not feeling well. She's under the weather. Is anyone else? Is anybody not feeling well? How about that? Well, that's right.
Honey, I can't get over the light.
Dan and Angel were awarded, and he also was first runner-up Teacher of the Year in Richmond County in Georgia. Congratulations.
He'll be back.
Great-grandmother, Rita Beeman is a great, I need to mention that I missed anything.
I celebrated my 25th last year.
What? It may not mean very much to you. But I want you to know that your family will appreciate it. We appreciate it. Each other. So whatever you do, please send us a picture. You're part of this world. Okay? That's it for me.
Another one at Knox College next year, probably for the Black Student Union there. But I won't take up much of your time, just a few minutes. What I usually do when I'm talking about this is share some experiences that are, I guess, unusual to some people. For example, a lot of people don't know anything about black cowboys. They just assume that all the cowboys were white because of the experience they've had watching programs on TV. And I've got some transparencies and things, but here's an example of one of the black cowboys of the period. The fellow named Nat. Now, he had been a slave in Tennessee, and after slavery was over, he went to Texas, and he began to break horses there. He was such a good cowboy that they were traveling. Cowboys drove cattle up and down the trails, and in Deadwood, South Dakota, they had a contest. It was very common for cowboys, after they'd been on a long drive, to have a little rodeo, entertaining themselves. And this fellow right here was so good at riding, roping, and shooting that he won the contest in Deadwood, South Dakota, and became known as Deadwood Dick. Nat loved Deadwood Dick. This is a fellow that was a cowboy before there were cowboys. He was a mountain man named James Beckworth. And what mountain men would do is they'd go out in the spring, and maybe 100 or so would go out in the woods to trap and hunt and things like that. At the end of 1 year, maybe 80 of the 100 would be dead. I mean, it was a very dangerous kind of occupation. James Beckworth became a well-known mountain man. Later on, he was an explorer. He helped to guide wagon trains through parts of the Old West. There's a pass in California known for Beckworth called Beckworth Pass. Very, very famous mountain man, part of the black cowboy tradition. This is just the family of black people in Nebraska, called the Shore family. And a lot of black people came as settlers to the Old West. They weren't cowboys, they weren't ranchers, they weren't gunfighters. They were just settlers. Here's the family that settled Nebraska back in the 1800s. And you can see, you couldn't see if you can see all the way back there, that it was very common for families to put everything they owned in their photographs. So you can see here that the family here, they're dressed in their best clothes. There's a horse and a buggy back in the background. There's horses in the background. And also, over one of the men shows you can see a windmill. In fact, I was looking at the Nebraska license plate just a couple of days ago, and they have a windmill on the license plate. Because in Nebraska, it's very difficult to, well, many parts of the West, it's difficult to get water. So you had to basically drill for the water and bring it to the surface. And this is just a family, black family in Nebraska. Again, part of the black Western tradition. Now this was a guy, I call it a part-time outlaw. His name was Isom Dart, and he was also known as the Calico Cowboy. And he's dressed pretty fancy there with his 6-shooters on and things like that. He used to ride with a gang called the Tip Golf Gang. And he would rob cattle, rustle cattle for a while, then he'd go straight. then he'd rustle some more, then he'd go straight again. And he'd rustle more. Finally, he was killed. How many of you have heard of the name Tom Horn?
Yeah.
Anybody heard the name Tom Horn?
Yeah.
Steve McQueen portrayed Tom Horn on TV in a movie some years ago. Tom Horn was a white man, and he was a range detective. This is Tom Horn right here. Tom Horn, who was usually hired by cavalrymen, whenever they had some problems, they'd hire, let's say, a Tom Horn to come in, and Tom Horn was like a paid assassin, really. He'd come in, if you told him you were having trouble, he said, we're having trouble with Taylor. Instead of, I wasn't going to shoot a gun tonight. And so he would come into town and he'd let you know, get out of town. If you didn't get out of town, he'd kill you. Well, Tom Horn killed the Calico Cowboy. This one right here. Now, it's interesting. I watched the movie Tom Horn, and I was just hoping in the movie that he'd kill the Calico Cowboy in the movie. Of course, he never did. But he did in reality. Killed the Calico Cowboy, Ivan Dark. This fellow looks like a big-time outlaw, but he wasn't. He was a con man. He lived in Dodge City, and what he did things the con men do. He played tricks on folks, trying to basically get money out of them. And he died about 1929 in Dodge City. His name was Ben Hodges. If you ever see movies where the cavalry comes to the rescue, over the hill, there they come riding, they help the wagon trainer, come back to the fort or whatever, they show you all white cavalrymen. Not true. If you were in the West back in the 1870s, 1890s, if you saw the cavalry coming, it would look like this man right here. Because the only cavalrymen in the West that were not black were the officers. Everybody else was black. And so the 9th and 10th Cavalry were responsible for example, capturing Geronimo. Everybody's heard about Geronimo, the Apache, who went on a warpath for many, many years, couldn't be captured. He was captured by men like this. This is a bar scene in the West. One of the reasons that black men like to go west was because there was an amount of integration in the West that wasn't placed in many other places in the country. So you see here a black man having a drink at a bar, another one's gambling at the gambling table. That wasn't considered to be strange or unusual in the Old West. And everywhere you go, you see black cowboys. It's kind of funny, a few years ago I was out west and I'm dressed not with quite like this, with chaps and spurs, but wearing Western clothes. You're not considered to be unusual or something unusual. That's just a part of the West. It historically has been, it still is. You still find black men who earn a living as cowboys in the West. This is just part of that tradition. This is just the family in the West again, just sitting on their front porch, playing instruments, doing that kind of thing. Very, very common. Now this woman named Claire Brown, I got a bigger representation of her here. She was a black woman who was born into slavery, and she went out to Colorado. She was very successful. She earned about, I think she had about $10,000 when she died. She was very successful in helping people. She helped establish a Methodist church out there. She worked as a laundress, to cook, but she made money and she basically became very successful. Helped a number of black folks to move out that way, and when folks came to Kansas and places like that, she gave them assistance, etc. Very famous woman there. This is, by the way, the Heritage Catalog from Coors, and this is one of the features in it. But that's one of the black women of the Old West. Who were out there mining during the time of the gold rush in various parts of the West. And this, of course, is just an average cowboy. Like thousands of average cowboys that you see in the West if you were out there. This is Albert Walker. Now, I want to mention just two other black cowboys to you. And if I can answer a couple questions, I'll try to do so. One black cowboy I want to mention to you is a man named Bill Pickett. Now, Bill Pickett had the distinction of being the only man, black or white, to invent a rodeo sport. Now, if you go to a rodeo and you see people roping and riding broncs and bulls, that wasn't invented by anybody. Cowboys did that, and it's a normal part of what they did. But there's one sport that was invented by one man, and at that time, he called it bulldogging. Bill Pickett learned this technique. What he would do is he'd ride on his horse, and he'd come off on a steer, let the steer pull him off, and he'd bend that steer's head all the way back, and he'd do what the cowboys don't do anymore. He'd bite the steer's upper lip. And when he bite the steer's upper lip, the steer would be frozen still. And he called that bulldogging. Now today, they don't bite the steer's upper lip, but they twist their head and bend it up and flip the steer over. It's called steer wrestling. And in the Cowboys Hall of Fame, you see a statue of Bill Pickett, very famous black cowboy. But today, even today, you'll find black cowboys. And I mentioned that on November the 8th, 9th, and 10th, if you're in Atlanta, there's going to be the Bill Pickett Invitational Rodeo Tournament. And there you get a chance to see tens of hundreds of black cowboys who are doing the same things that blacks have done historically. That is, they are doing those kinds of cowboy things. So if you happen to be in Atlanta during that time, stop in and check out the Bill Pickett Tournament. Thank you, Ray.
Maybe they should be the bigger stuff to do, kind of 2-3 rifles in them, got man Victoria, oh yeah, big 25 on the damn side, right down the hill, I heard that. You got it. Hi.
Give me a chance to get one here.
There you go. Up. No, you move. You're the movie camera.
You're going to be a married, what's that?
Go down there, in order to get these it's fun.
Hi there, let me have it out there. Hi there. Hi there. Hi,
Will.